Netflix has a new, monstrous story to tell. In 1950s Wisconsin, Ed Gein lived quietly on a decaying farm, hiding a house of horrors so gruesome it would redefine the American nightmare. Driven by isolation, psychosis, and an all-consuming obsession with his mother, he committed crimes that would haunt Hollywood for decades. The third and most harrowing installment of Ryan Murphy and Ian Brennan's anthology series. Watch Monster, the Ed Gein story, streaming now only on Netflix.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary, not available in all states or situations.
Hello and welcome to History for Weirdos.
We're your hosts, Andrew
and Stephanie,
and we're going to take you on a journey into the strange, obscure, and relentlessly entertaining corners of human history.
Now listen up, friends, because it's about to get weird. We are back in the same room, in the same clothes as last time. How weird.
How weird. I wonder how that happened.
I have no idea, but this time I have glasses, so that's how we know we've begun anew.
There you go.
There you go.
Weirdos. That's the episode.
Weirdos, we are, as always, so happy to bring to you a weird history story this week. This week is Andrew's week, so I have a nice iced matcha latte, and I will be sitting back with you all and listening to Andrew, who has a very incredible story that I don't think most people know about.
Yes. Actually, this story I've been wanting to do since we came back. Like, the
That's right.
very first episode we had back was on the 1954 Guatemalan coup d'etat, instigated by the CIA. Had to throw that in there.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. And I mentioned someone in that episode who I was utterly fascinated with as soon as I read about him. And I was like, I have to do a full episode on him. And this is that episode months later.
Yay! I'm so excited.
Yes.
And let's just dive in. We
Yeah,
don't
let's
have
just do
any updates because for us, time has not really passed since we all last met and spoke. So there's no news on our end. And I'm excited for story time.
Okay, let's do it. Oh my God.
Hold on, I'm doing ASMR.
Story time.
Okay, let's do story time.
Okay, so we're going to be covering the story of the man, the myth, the legend, Huey Long, the Kingfish of Louisiana.
The Kingfish of Louisiana?
The Kingfish of Louisiana. Oh, wow, I didn't even mean to do that southern accent. That just came out. Huey Long's in the room with us, I guess.
Yeah.
So, Huey Pierce Long Jr. was born in 1893 in Winfield, Louisiana. Which was a poor rural parish with a tradition of like populist dissent against the parasitic class or the elite.
Snap.
His family was better off than I think most people, but still not like rich by any means, but just like sort of well-to-do.
Do you think he was low income or middle class?
Probably lower middle class.
Okay.
Maybe middle class, but probably lower middle class.
Okay.
He had a very early awareness of class differences. I think that would shape the rest of his life. So he was bright and argumentative as a youth. He excelled at debating and even won a scholarship to LSU.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but he couldn't afford the cost to attend.
Oh, my God. Even with the scholarship.
And even back then, where it was like nothing compared to what is it now.
Yeah.
Instead, he became actually. I didn't even put it in my notes, but I read about it and I thought it was fascinating. He was going to go to LSU. He couldn't afford it, but then he probably was going to figure something out. But he was actually kicked out of high school because they added like there was a weird clause where he had to like do an extra year, and he was like, no, that's dumb.
Oh.
He's argumentative.
Like they changed a graduation requirement or
exactly.
something.
And so he got like expelled.
That's what I would do.
Yeah. So he's like, I'm going to be a traveling salesman. 17. And this was formative, though, for him, because he was able to identify with people, talk with people. He had showmanship, and he could connect with anybody.
You know, what a great job to start off with, traveling salesman, because you learn how to improvise. You learn how to talk to people. Mm-hmm. You learn how different people live.
Yeah.
That's kind of like a little college education there.
It was. I think it was like a very, I don't know, practical, applied college education. So, yeah, and these were skills that he would later, you know, like in a way weaponize when he was in politics. So, you know, for good and for bad, you know, we'll get into it. But he was a voracious reader. So despite not going to college, he read like crazy. He loved Shakespeare and Dickens. But he also loved the biographies of Napoleon and one Julius Caesar.
Oh my gosh, that's like both of our taste.
Yeah.
I like Shakespeare and Dickens. You like Caesar.
Yeah.
Do you like Napoleon?
Not in particular.
Yeah.
I like Napoleon in that he liked Caesar.
Yeah.
And I do. Napoleon was also a voracious reader. He read like crazy.
That is true.
To him, I think from a military standpoint, he was like consuming data.
I was a voracious reader before the brain rot.
Yeah, no, me too.
Good times.
And I feel like this is really interesting because this was like some foreshadowing where he, like the Roman populares, Caesar included, long would emerge as like a fiery champion of the people. And he fought against the traditional establishment. So, and, you know, also like while working as a traveling salesman, he actually met the love of his life, Rose McConnell. And they married on April 12th, 1913.
Ooh, they like each other.
Yeah. So, and he knew though he wanted to do a little bit more. And so one of his buddies literally was like, hey, you want to be a lawyer? I'm going to give you like a really streamlined education so you can pass the bar like as quickly as possible. Oh, snap. So he just studied his ass off, excuse my French, and he passed the bar in 1915, only like studying law for like, I think a couple months or a few months. It's really fast.
He would have loved Suits.
Oh my God, he would have loved Suits.
He would have loved it.
Screw it, we'll rewatch Suits.
We got to rewatch Suits again.
I don't even want to be a lawyer. And I'm like, it made me want to be a lawyer for like a half a second.
Oh yeah, me too. I was like, wait, I should get into like forensic therapy work.
Yeah, I was like, should I do constitutional law?
Oh, that's a good one.
That's like what I should have done.
Oh yeah, that's a good one to get
I could have
into.
been like a Huey Long.
Well,
instead now
I have a feeling this story's gonna take some turns, so maybe it's
maybe
a good
not,
idea you didn't do it.
Because, you know, also foreshadowing, the populares usually had bad things happen to them, and they died under tragic circumstances. Gaius Gracchus,
who you did
Julius
an episode
Caesar,
on.
yeah, and his brother Tiberius Gracchus all had bad endings. So, spoiler, not spoiler. So he, like, from the very beginning, his practice as a lawyer, he fought for like the little man. He often represented small plaintiffs against large corporations and utilities. Very early on, I mean, he's still very young. He's in his 20s, and he has this mantra, his like the visage of like, I fight against the man for the common people.
Kind of like a Robin Hood lawyer.
Literally, yes, he's a Robin Hood figure. I mean, even at the time, that's what they described him as.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So, at just the age of 25, Long won the election to the Louisiana Railroad Commission, later the Public Service Commission, and he used this platform to battle corporate monopolies, most famously taking on Standard Oil over pipeline rates, which would basically make him an enemy of Standard Oil for the rest of his life.
That's me snapping for him.
Yeah. No, he's cool. I like him. By suing a telephone company for like unjust rate increases and winning refunds, he actually changed the lives of 80,000 overcharged customers and earned him statewide acclaim as a people's advocate.
I love that he's still in Louisiana.
Yeah, he's still in Louisiana.
Like he's fighting for his community.
Absolutely. I mean, and he will become a U.S. senator, but a lot of his work is in Louisiana still.
I love that.
Like, he doesn't like being in Washington, D.C., I don't think.
I wonder why.
I know, weird, right?
Weird.
So, he was, but like Caesar, I do want to point out, like, I'm not just trying to only point out the good things. Like, he was very power hungry. And we will go into some of the things he did, which are not great.
Oh, boy.
So, but again, that's like, I think, that's what I love about our history podcast is we really just, we give you the facts as they are. And we try to give the whole complete narrative.
I think anytime you're telling stories of real people, they're going to have flaws.
Yeah, they're human.
Some of us have way bigger flaws than others, sure. Or like, not bigger, but like flaws that impact more people.
Yes.
But yeah, we're all human. We're all going to mess up.
Exactly. So Huey Long actually ran for governor in 1924. So he would have been 31 years old when he ran for governor, but he lost. He finished third.
Wow.
But still, I mean, it's pretty good for a 31-year-old.
That's young.
That's
to
really
run for
young.
Governor, yeah.
This was notably an election dominated by KKK influence and insane racist demagoguery, which Long refused to engage in. He instead focused on economic inequality and attacking the rich elites.
Wow. He didn't engage in the, this is going to get me voters if I say racist things.
He was notoriously anti-racist.
Wow. And he was white?
He was white. From the South, Louisiana.
Born in the 1890s?
Yeah.
Wow, ahead of his time.
Yeah, he did not, because I think he saw through the facade. He saw through the visage, like or the veil. It's not real. Like these are things that are imposed upon people to drive differences.
Yeah. You know what's wild? I just have one random thing to say.
Yeah.
My great-grandfather was born in like 1890.
Isn't that weird?
That's so weird. That's not that far away.
Yeah. He would have been like Huey Long's age, roughly.
Mm-hmm.
So his class-focused message, very unusual for Southern politicians at this time, resonated with many poor farmers, but again, alienated him from some traditional voters who were just racist, right?
Yeah.
And he's just like, no, I'm not. Like, he has his morals. He's not gonna do that.
That alone is very admirable.
Yes. The 1924 loss, though, wasn't all for naught. He did learn some valuable lessons, especially in building grassroots machines, which he would become very good at. He doubled down on campaign showmanship, barnstorming rural parishes with lively rallies, jazz bands, and his catchy slogan, "Every man a king."
Oh my gosh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
And he knew his audience.
Exactly. He knew his audience. And again, I do think this is kind of my interpretation. I think he was very well influenced by the Roman populares because this is exactly what they did.
Really?
Like to the T. Yeah. I mean, they didn't have jazz in ancient Rome, but,
How sad.
I know. That is a little sad, actually.
They would have loved it. They would have gone nuts.
Oh, they would have lost it.
Yeah.
Imagine just giving them Baja Blasts, man. I don't know why that's our thing. But 4 years later, 1928, he wins. He wins. He ran for governor, and he won in a landslide. It was actually the largest margin in Louisiana's history.
In 4 years, he went from coming in third place to winning by a landslide.
Yes.
Wow, that's impressive.
Because I think this is, look at the context of the times, the Roaring 20s. Some people are getting extremely wealthy, and a lot of people are getting left behind. And he's like, screw that. Like, I don't want that. Like, I want better for everyone. And
every man a king.
Every man a king, literally. So some of the parishes, like especially the rural parishes, like overwhelmingly supported him. Like 70% of the vote would go to him in these areas. And because you know what he did? This is crazy. Politicians, maybe take a note from this. He promised roads, schools, and an end to oligarchy.
Yeah. The basics.
Need I say more?
The point of government.
Like literally. Oh. Anyways, urban elites hated him. They hated him. But this is around the time he earned the name the Kingfish. After a brash comic radio character. Super random. But that's what he would be known as.
Okay. So he was seen as brash.
He was definitely seen as brash. He was fiery. Very, very Gaius Gracchus-like. Especially, yeah. I don't remember what the episode number was, but I think it's like in the 40s. It's a long time ago.
Really? It's that long ago?
Yeah.
Wow.
I definitely recommend listening to that too after this episode.
Oh, yeah,
if you
you're going to
haven't.
see so many similarities already.
Yeah, exactly. He was, again, champion of the poor. He wasted no time enacting like more populist agendas, especially to uplift like poor majority. He pushed through bills that delivered like tangible benefits, which was unheard of the South at the time. I mean,
and I would imagine how, like, for Louisiana in this time period, how crucial more infrastructure would have been.
yes, when you nailed it, That was a big push, was
Yeah.
infrastructure within Louisiana.
Yeah. That betters everyone's lives.
Like literally the next bullet point I have is infrastructure revolution. They paved 9,700 miles of new roads, doubling the state's road network. And he built 111 bridges, bringing remote rural communities into the modern era. And for the first time, isolated farmers could drive on real highways instead of mud paths.
That's going to save you so much time,
Like,
headaches.
It's these big public work infrastructure projects
Yeah.
that uplift everyone.
All
It
those
uplifts
businesses,
everyone.
their logistics just got a lot easier.
Exactly.
Their operations just got streamlined.
Like the ROI, if you're to be brutal about it, and you think about like the ROI from a cost perspective, but also from a happiness perspective, it's very little amount of money to bring gigantic generational changes.
Yeah. The impact is huge.
And I think he saw that, and I think he really saw the greed of, like, probably Wall Street.
Yeah.
Wow, what's new? And
So true.
so that was just straight from
Like, money not going to things that benefit most people.
right.
The everyday person getting left behind.
Yeah.
Well, keep telling us, because I know there's going to be some weird turns in
Oh,
this.
there's gonna be some weird turns. Yeah.
With Mint Mobile, you can get the coverage and speed you're used to, but for way less money. And for a limited time, Mint Mobile is offering 3 months of unlimited premium wireless service for $15 a month. So, while your friends are sweating over data overages and surprise charges, you'll be chilling, literally and financially. Say bye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text, delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts. Ditch overpriced wireless and get 3 months of unlimited service from Mint Mobile for $15 a month. Between you and me, once my current cell phone plan is up, I'm definitely making the switch to Mint Mobile. This year, skip breaking a sweat and breaking the bank. Get this new customer offer and your 3-month unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month at mintmobile.com/HFW. That's mintmobile.com/HFW. Upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 a month. Limited time new customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com for details.
He provided education for all. So that was part of his platform. Free textbooks to school children, black and white.
Damn.
And
Wow.
he sent mobile libraries to rural areas and opened night schools that taught an estimated 175,000 illiterate adults to read.
Oh my God. Mobile libraries are a thing that right before the pandemic started getting traction.
Yes, I remember that.
Yes,
That
and
comes from Huey Long.
That's
Okay,
wild.
it doesn't come from Huey Long, but he instituted this in the 30s.
That's wild.
So this is like, it's funny because
And to combat illiteracy is to empower the people.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I when kind of reading and researching Huey Long, I was like, I feel like I don't really want to become governor of California, but if I ever were to become governor of California, I would want to do stuff like this.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like, who cares if like these coastal tech like billionaires like get an extra $1 billion in tax cuts? They don't even care. Like, why don't we just take that money and invest it in like
Education?
schools, infrastructure? Like, the answer's so blatantly obvious, and it's like frustrating that people don't see it.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it's not like, oh, I'm so brilliant. No. I'm literally just reading what successful people did in the past, and it's like, apply like this to the modern world instead.
And living in LA, when we chat with people, like just random people you meet at a party, friends, whatever, like the everyday person, we know what is needed.
Yeah.
So many people are like, we need a way to manage the fires that happen every year.
Yes.
We need more resources at schools. Our school district is terrible. I would just want to tell a quick story. Before I went to graduate school, I was working as a behavioral aide, which, a whole nother story. Behavioral aids for autism is kind of controversial. But anyway, I was in a high school with my student, and this was in
2019 or 2018, maybe.
No, like 2017.
Oh, okay.
Before I started grad school.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you're right.
So it was here in LA, University High School, like in the middle of a nice area.
Like it's Brentwood.
Yeah, it's Brentwood.
It's a very rich area.
Very rich area. Lots of like very well-to-do families connected to tech, entertainment, all of those things. When the first day that I went with my student into class, the first class we went to was the science class. I think it was biology. And the teacher, who was older, probably close to retirement, just stands at the front of the class and he's like, go to this page, hands out like a worksheet, fill in the questions. And then he went and sat down and was on his computer the rest of the time. There were not enough textbooks for everyone in the class. The ratio was 4 students to 1 textbook.
That's like absurd.
I watched 4 kids huddle around 1 textbook to try to learn about the anatomy of a cell on their own.
Yeah, and
isn't that the most heartbreaking thing?
Yeah. I mean, it really shouldn't be controversial to say, like, there should be a 1-to-1 ratio of textbooks to children in school.
Yes.
Like, that is, you're investing in the future of a country. If you're basically, like, I don't want to get into it, but, like, right now I feel like the older generations are cashing out. They're like, screw, I got what's mine. I'm going to continue extracting. And,
Kids
like,
are
I want my
definitely getting left
401k.
behind.
Yeah,
exactly.
I want my, like, my investment accounts to go up, like, even higher. I don't give a shit about like the kids in school.
Yeah.
And that's that. And it really, as you can tell, it beyond frustrates me because we don't even have kids.
We don't even have kids, guys.
And I'm like,
we have
why?
a dingo. We have a dingo puppy.
Yeah.
Not even a real dog.
And it's like, we know the government takes enough of our money. I don't even want to get, that's a whole nother situation. There's money for this. They choose to not do it because they want to do other things that, again, I'm not going to get into. But
even on a personal level, where your money flows, like your values show.
Exactly. And as a country, goes to weapons, it goes to
the military-industrial complex in general. It's not going to kids.
Yeah, exactly. Or it goes to even social security spending. It's very high, but look at what is it actually going to? It's just because that's what a lot of people will say. Well, we have so much money in social security. No, it's going to corporations. It's going to just
follow the money.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
We said we weren't going to do this.
I know we're doing
with this episode, and yet here we are. I'm sorry. So mobile libraries to combat illiteracy.
Yeah, free textbooks. He even expanded LSU. Ironically enough, yeah, as governor. Wow. He's constructing new buildings, tripling enrollment, founding the medical school, even personally meddling in campus affairs if it was his university.
That's cute.
I know, it actually is kind of cute. He abolished the regressive poll tax that kept poor citizens, especially black folks and poor whites, from voting. And he exempted the first $2,000 of personal property from taxation. It's effectively like tax relief for small homeowners. These moves empowered tens of thousands of new voters who repaid Long with fierce loyalty for the rest of his life. And we'll get into it, even into the political dynasty that he's creating.
I mean,
he's revolutionary.
All of those things are amazing so far.
This is just, to be clear, it's funny, I feel like a lot of people's views enforce their reality. My views are enforced by reality. Especially history. We've studied cultures over the course of thousands of years, and I think my political views are based off of what works and what doesn't work. As simple as that. What makes for a good society?
I bet a lot of weirdos agree.
Yeah.
Even if
we disagree on how to
what
do
that
that.
is. Yeah.
But that's the mantra that I have.
Yeah.
So healthcare and welfare. He also built charity hospitals, expanded the public health facilities, and
Public health.
doubled the capacity of state charity hospitals, improved care for mentally ill, expanding facilities in that area as well.
That's me.
Enacted labor laws and a state pension system, precursors for what would be components of actually the New Deal, funny enough.
Oh, wow. That was giving New Deal vibes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get into it, actually. He was not a fan of the New Deal.
Interesting.
But for different reasons than
you would think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he even erected a new state capitol building. It was a tower. It's actually a beautiful building. It's a towering Art Deco skyscraper in Baton Rouge.
Cool.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love Art Deco?
It's really interesting. It is a beautiful building. And it's really interesting. That's actually plays a very pivotal part later in his story.
Okay.
And we'll get back to it. So just keep that in the back of your mind. A lot of his detractors at the time started comparing him to Caesar at this point, funny enough.
That's not good. You don't want to be compared to Caesar.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, and not from like he did so much for the plebeian class. No.
Because the modern understanding of Caesar is he was a tyrant.
Especially at this time.
Yeah, and he got shanked.
Most classicists now actually have kind of like reversed that, and they're like, oh no, he was actually like, the Republic was gone. It was an oligarchy, and he was fighting against it. Damn, I should do an episode on Caesar. I
can't believe we haven't done one.
Because I feel like Caesar's like, his name was synonymous. Yeah, it's like his name was synonymous with emperor for like 2,000 years.
Yeah.
Like, I can't,
Yeah.
So
let us know, weirdos, in the comments. Should we do an episode on Caesar? Caesar's been mentioned in probably like 100 episodes.
I know. He's like one of my favorite like historical figures of all time.
Should we do one?
It's like super basic. It's like saying, yeah, I like the Roman Empire. It's like, it's basic, but it's basic for a reason because it's like the right answer.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so all these things, they cost money, right? So how are they going to pay? How is he going to pay for these things? So he was unafraid of squeezing the rich. He definitely made them pay taxes. So one of the things he did was he slapped a tax on oil refining, 5 cents per barrel, directly targeting Standard Oil and the petroleum barons who had long gone untaxed.
Wow.
So these super rich people not paying taxes, but like, your mom and pop having to pay, taxes. Not
that
cool.
is so unfair.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I think income tax in the United States is inherently regressive and needs to be completely overhauled. But that's, again, a whole nother issue. But that's kind of like what he's tackling.
Right.
So he was loved by the people, but this also gave him an undying hatred from like the ultra wealthy, right?
Of course, yeah.
He loved it. He relished class war.
He was brash.
He was brash. He called the people that he represented the folks at the forks of the creek. Those were his people. And it's interesting. Wealth inequality was always like his white whale. He said modern capitalism had run amok. And like he wasn't against capitalism.
Mm-hmm.
He was for it, to be clear.
Yeah.
But this modern capitalism, he was like, oh, hell no.
Right, because it's not a real free market.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Buddy, you would really hate today. So, he's basically, same with today. Like a very small clique of people were hogging immense wealth while everyone else is suffering.
Right.
His campaign motto from 1928, every man a king, but no one wears a crown, it encapsulated his creed. So he promised to break the grip of the oligarchs so that even the poorest Louisianans could live with dignity. That was his whole mantra.
That's very admirable. Live with dignity.
Exactly. He had a specific plan. It was owning a home, owning a car, a radio, and putting a chicken in every pot. That was his basically like creating a baseline standard of living.
Yeah, he wanted to address basic needs inequity.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, to be fair, I think that's kind of the way I view things, is like we should have a bare minimum standard of living in the United States. We have enough wealth. Like we can make that a reality if we wanted to. It's all about, this is kind of where manifesting comes into play. If we all manifested this,
Yeah.
and like acted on it, we could make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote a Substack article where it's like, I don't remember the number, but we like outnumber these elites like 100,000, between 100,000 and 1,000,000 to 1.
Yeah.
So we can do it if we wanted to. Anyways,
Remember, we have a time limit.
I know we have a time limit today, guys. It's this long story. I'm just going to kind of skip this stuff. It's basically like we already kind of went over it.
Okay.
He has brash tactics, though. That is the one thing I really want to highlight. He was flamboyant. He was confrontational. He publicly punched a rival editor in the face during the 1928 campaign for governor.
Only back then could you get away with
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And even slugged the sitting governor over an insult.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Once in office, he demolished the governor's mansion as a statement, calling it, or even calling in prison inmates to literally knock it down.
Whoa.
As like just a massive like middle finger
Yeah.
straight to the establishment.
Okay. So
And
we know the kind of guy he is, yeah.
exactly. He's sending a clear message like, I'm coming for you. This is the new paradigm. Like either love it or hate it. I'm here, baby.
Mm-hmm.
On the House floor, he would actually like also cow opponents with lines like "sit down and shut up," using humiliation, the microphone, and the galleries as weapons because he'd get people involved. He really did crowd work well.
He's a showman.
He was a showman.
Mm-hmm.
So in 1929, the old guard started striking back. They even tried to impeach him, and it looked like it could have happened. I mean, to be fair, Long was kind of abusing some of his powers, and even alleging he'd and part of it was like he like insulted legislators with abusive language, which was a big no-no back then.
Yeah.
Now it's like, I mean, the president of the United States does it all the time, so.
Yeah, but back then they actually had like decorum.
Yeah, and he's a little different in that.
Mm-hmm.
Huey fought back just ferociously. He didn't give a shit. He straight up accused Standard Oil and political bosses of plotting to retake the government via corrupt legislature. He alleged that lawmakers were offered $25,000 bribes, and this is back in the early 30s. That's a lot of money. Late 20s.
Yeah.
Enough money to burn a wet mule, quote unquote.
Damn.
Ultimately, Long maneuvered his foes. He secured the loyalty of a critical bloc of state senators who signed pledges to block any conviction, probably getting like the people, their constituents saying, no, we like this guy. You better support him.
Mm-hmm.
Which again, that's politics.
Mm-hmm.
So the impeachment fell short and Huey emerged victorious. This close brush with like political death,
Yeah.
it didn't deter him any, and in fact, if anything, it emboldened him
Oh, he
to
got
go
pissed.
even harder. Yeah, he said afterwards, "quote I used to try to get things done by saying please. Now I'm a dynamiter." End quote.
Stop. That was his version of saying please before.
Well, to be fair, I think all those things happened like while he was governor, and then I kind of went back in time.
That's too funny.
But
He
like
doesn't sound like he was saying please.
I don't think he was ever really truly saying please.
He's
But
like,
I think
now dynamite.
yeah, he like his opponents called it a tyrant's playbook. And I mean, to be fair, he did start purging political opponents, not like with violence, but like getting them out,
Getting rid of them.
yeah, getting rid of them, and tightening his grip on power. And from here on out, Huey abandoned like any pretense of gentle persuasion. He was like, no, like the people are going to get what the people need, and if I have to do extraordinary measures to do it, I will do it.
Mm-hmm. But those measures go against democracy in a lot of ways.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right? It's kind of like, and again, very populare, very Caesarian of him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in the early 30s, Huey Long wielded unprecedented control over, basically over an entire U.S. state. No one had really, in any state, I think no one had really had so much power had never been controlled by a single person, right? I think it was New York had Tammany Hall, but that was kind of a coalition of different like interests.
Yeah.
This is one person.
Right.
He dominated every branch of Louisiana's government through patronage or fear.
That's definitely going to make enemies.
Yeah, he's making enemies here. And again, we will see. It comes to a head. So he passed hundreds of laws by stacking state legislature and centralized authority in the governor's office. Dissenting lawmakers were either bribed, blackmailed, or bullied into submission. Kind of reminds me of what was that narco?
Oh my God.
The famous one.
Colombia.
Pablo Escobar.
Yeah.
He said plata o plomo. I felt like it was
Yeah.
kind of like that. Silver or lead.
Yeah. You
I mean,
choose.
You choose.
I would take the silver.
Well, yeah. Yeah. But, lead in this case is like political death.
Yes.
So he packed courts. He has a state legislature on his side. So the judicial branch within Louisiana, he has courts that are filled with judges that are friendly to him. He just straight up fired state employees who wouldn't pledge loyalty, replacing them with his supporters. Government contracts and jobs flowed to those in his machine, ensuring loyalty, right? So this is, I think, where we kind of go into like the dark side of that, where
Absolutely.
I think, in my own kind of like interpretation of all of this, he went into it with good reasons, but he's starting to kind of go to the dark side of like, he's going too far.
He's doing the thing of like, oh, well, the ends justify the means.
Exactly.
That's such a slippery slope.
Yeah. I mean, he even like muzzled the press a lot of the times. That's really stepping over the line.
Yeah.
He proposed gag laws.
Oof.
He created his own newspaper to spread propaganda.
Stop.
Yeah. When one newspaper just wouldn't back down, he sent the National Guard to shut it down and destroy the presses. He literally had troops with bayonets marching into a newspaper office.
Nope. You can't do that.
Yeah. I mean, he even literally did it to a student newspaper later that criticized him, snarling, I'm assuming LSU, I built that university. I won't stand for any students bad-mouthing me.
Oh.
Yeah, so he has an ego, too.
Definitely in the dark side.
He really could have benefited from some, like, Marcus Aurelius.
Yeah. Some anger management.
Yeah, I was like, you really like Caesar. Maybe you also look at...
Read Meditations.
Yeah.
See what it's about.
I mean, yeah, like, he used state police and National Guard kind of as his personal enforcers.
No.
Yeah, not good.
Can't do that.
He even joked, give me the militia and they can have all the laws they want. So again, very dictatorial.
Yeah, you can't be
Like,
the good guy
objectively.
and do stuff like that.
Yeah.
You're no longer the good guy.
So, and at this point, people either loved Huey Long or they hated him. Adulation and hatred. It reached unreal heights, right? Because to his rural base,
He's
Long,
a man of the people.
he was a man of the people. He was not only that, he was a savior to them.
He's a savior of the people.
I mean, and he genuinely was.
Right. They're not wrong in that.
Right? And not only were they weren't horrified by his attacks on like his detractors, they actually encouraged it. They were on his side completely.
Because they felt protected by him.
They felt protected by him. And remember, like, this is in the middle of the Great Depression.
Yeah. And
So-
he's promising like a certain level of dignity
Yes.
when like there is none for most people across the country.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Because
could see.
not only did he talk about doing stuff for them, he actually did it.
Mm-hmm.
He got results, which was just... I mean, I can tell you one thing. Since and before, no one helped the poor person as much as Huey Long in Louisiana.
Right.
Like, that's just the way it is. But he did so by being a little bit of a dictator.
Yeah. A little bit.
Okay, a lot of it. I know. It's funny because I do have a little bit of sympathy for him.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm also like reading these things, I'm horrified.
Yeah. Both are true.
Both are true. I mean, again, it kind of goes, he's like the perfect weirdo because there's good and bad. Like really good and really bad.
He's layered.
He's very layered. Esteemed journalists like Hodding Carter labeled him, quote, the first true dictator out of the soil of America, end quote. Critics whisper that Huey would crown himself an outright fascist if he could. Comparisons to Napoleon and Caesar, of course, were really starting to be ramped up at this time.
And Huey's like, I love those guys.
Yeah. Long brushed it off. He was like, a perfect democracy can come close to looking like a dictatorship, end quote.
Ooh.
In his view, he was doing right by the common person, right? And if that required steamrolling the opposition, so be it.
Mm-hmm.
That was his mantra, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, yeah, his oration, by the way, was incredible. You should watch like videos of him. It's really cool. I might post a few, like, when we release this episode.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it's really, really cool speeches that he has. So, yeah, I mean, his faction were even called Longites. They were basically even seen as populares.
Wow.
Which was like the late Roman Republic equivalent of Longites.
He's like a cult leader.
He kind of is, like, literally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like and it's interesting because, like, and if you look at party politics, he was a Democrat, but he had arguably even more hatred towards what he called the Bourbon Democrats, so like the rich Democrats of the South, than he did against the Republicans.
Right, because they're being fake.
Exactly.
They're phonies.
Yeah, and in some ways he was more aligned with Republicans at the time than he was Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
Really interesting. So he could only stay governor for a period of time. And he wasn't going to push that. He wasn't going to break that constitution. So
okay.
He was term limited, which again, I guess goes to show that he wasn't fully a dictator. He just,
right.
And he really meant what he said is like, sometimes it can look like a dictatorship.
Mm-hmm. But he had no plans to try to extend his terms.
No, because he had bigger plans.
Oh, snap.
So he ran for the United States Senate, actually, interestingly, in 1930. And he won easily. And interestingly, though, remember, like, this is 1930. He's, like, governor in, like, 1932 even. So what happens? He wins easily wins. But he actually refused to take his Senate seat for 2 years. He delayed it so that he could be governor longer and then...
That's so weird.
Run out his time. Yeah, I don't know. It is strange, honestly.
Why not wait until you're done being governor?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe just to, like, secure maybe like a succession plan. I don't know.
Okay.
That's what I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
Detractors saw it as a dictatorial mindset. His supporters saw it as safeguarding his revolution.
Okay.
I actually see both sides, honestly. So he arrived in Washington in 1932. The Great Depression is, like, terrible. He arrived, like, kind of similar to actually Jimmy Carter in some ways, very different in others, like, as a political outsider.
I see.
He played that up.
Okay.
I am a political outsider.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's what he did.
Oh, like Jimmy Carter, but just very different personalities. Jimmy
Both
Carter's so introverted.
Southerners, and that's the only thing they have really in common. Oh, and they weren't racist.
Yeah.
So
Those are good ones.
those are, like, really the two things they have in common.
Yeah.
And they, I guess, and like a genuine, like, interest in helping, like, the poor and middle class.
Yeah, not like my whole life is about being a politician.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they were there for a reason. In his very first months as senator, Long gave fiery speeches denouncing wealth inequality on the Senate floor. So, like, he took it from Louisiana to the national stage. And this is, again, right in the middle of the Depression, so this is going to hit hard. Like, this is going to hit.
That's powerful.
Yeah. He lambasted both Republicans and his own Democratic Party leaders for failing to tackle the crisis, often in colorful theatrical filibusters that drew crowds to the gallery. In fact, a very young LBJ reportedly watched entranced by Huey's performance in, like, 1932 or 1933.
I do admire, it's not my style necessarily, but I do admire that he made it a performance because it gets people involved.
Yes.
It gets attention.
And I think he was about results. He wasn't about intention. He really thought, like, this is the way to get people interested.
Yeah, because most people, especially his constituents, don't feel represented by the government. So they're not going to be paying attention to those discussions. They're kind of checked out. But he made them pay attention.
Exactly. So his Senate colleagues were not quite as amused.
They didn't think it was cute?
They didn't think it was as cute.
Okay.
So by 1933, his marathon speeches and antics had nearly paralyzed Senate business, prompting the Washington Post to call for his resignation. Long didn't care. His real audience was the nation at large. Initially, he and FDR were buddies initially.
Okay.
They
I
saw
could see that.
each other as kindred spirits, but that didn't last long. So, but before they had a falling out, Huey Long did help FDR win the 1932 presidential election.
So he backed him.
Yeah, he backed him and he secured key delegations for the nomination.
Okay.
But once Roosevelt was actually in office, Long very quickly grew disillusioned with him. He thought that FDR's New Deal was way too timid. He called him basically like a little bitch. Like that would, to put it in today's terms, that's kind of like what he saw FDR as.
So he's like, you're being a weenie.
Yeah.
You're not fighting hard enough. You're kind of like, FDR maybe was thinking, I'm going to be a little more centrist with this.
Yes.
Less polarizing, and Huey Long's all about being polarizing.
Yeah, he lives to be polarizing.
I see.
And literally Huey's metaphor was, quote, Roosevelt was just sprinkling nickels around, like while Americans starved.
Wow.
Yeah.
I could, that's so funny because I've only ever heard the opposite criticism.
Oh, that like from like the more like conservative side, like being like, oh, he's a socialist or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, no, not at all.
How
In fact, some of
interesting.
his more radical things was so that like Huey Long would shut up.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I'll get into that in a second. But yeah, he accused FDR of coddling bankers and big businesses.
Probably.
I mean, I think he was, genuinely. Yeah. I think that's not an unfair assessment.
Yeah.
He sarcastically even named Roosevelt Frank to deny him like the dignity of the office, and pointedly referring to the president's National Recovery Administration, ironically called the NRA, no
Different
relation,
NRA.
different NRA, as, and I'm sorry, this is a little bit of a disclaimer. I'm going to use antiquated language here, but he called it the, quote, Negroes ruined again, unquote, to undermine FDR in the South.
Wow.
So the break was complete. Long had effectively formed his kind of like own one-man radical opposition within the Democratic Party, but clearly not aligned with the Republicans. So you kind of had like three different like points here.
And he is pretty isolated in that he has his followers.
Right, but
as
he doesn't
a politician,
have allies.
yeah, he doesn't have like people. Yeah, allies.
He doesn't have allies necessarily. Not that I really saw.
Jon Snow would not approve.
We need more allies. That's all he said in the last season.
Yep.
Last two seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So
Once upon a mundane morning, Barb's day got busy without warning. A realtor in need of an open house sign. No, 50 of them, and designed before 9.
My head hurts.
Any mighty tools to help with this plight? Aha! Barb made her move. She opened Canva and got in the groove.
Bulk creating Canva sheets. Create 50 signs fit for suburban streets.
Done in a click, all complete.
Sweet!
Now, imagine what your dreams can become when you put imagination to work at canva.com.
in February of 1934, Huey Long unveiled his grand solution to the Depression, the Share Our Wealth program. Very radical for the time. But basically, this sweeping plan was nothing less than a frontal assault on the nation's extreme wealth inequality. And it made Long not just a household name in Louisiana now, but across the entire country. You can tell that this was probably very popular with people who weren't absurdly rich.
Most people.
Which is a vast majority of people.
Right.
So, some key features of this plan included fortune caps, which basically personal fortunes would be capped at roughly $50 million, later revised actually to only $5 million.
Oh, snap.
But again, this was also in the 30s. So he put it bluntly, like, how can there be men with hundreds of millions and millions of people with nothing? Bro, you have no idea.
Yeah.
What about hundreds of billions now?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, every family would be guaranteed a basic household grant, around $2,000 to $5,000 per year, enough to buy a home, a car, a radio, and staples of comfort. So basically kind of like a universal basic income.
For the United States, this would be insanely radical for today.
Insanely radical for today.
And we have other countries that do these things already.
And wow, like their citizens are reportedly happier.
Right.
They're less
more
stressed.
Educated.
They're more educated.
Mm-hmm.
They have there's just better outcomes
better
overall.
health outcomes, yeah.
It's like, interesting.
And even with that sort of decades and decades of evidence, this would be considered very radical.
Oh, absolutely. You know, they also old age pensions and benefits, free college education, vocational training, veteran bonuses, all of these things. He also even proposed shortening the work week and giving workers 4 weeks of vacation.
Like in Europe?
Like in Europe.
Oh.
This is what they took from us. The parasite class. This is what they took from us.
I would love to not have over $100,000 in student loan debt.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So he also and this is, FDR's like, I'm stealing this. This next point, which is massive public works programs. So
Right. That is the one that he does take.
he envisioned federal public works projects guaranteeing a job to every American who could work, building schools, roads, hospitals. Basically doing what he did in Louisiana, but on an entire national scale.
It's a good one. And I see why FDR chose that one. It's the most palatable.
Yeah.
Because it further can justify the existence of the government.
Exactly.
Right? He's like, okay.
Yeah, FDR, I'm pretty anti-FDR, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to get into it, but yeah, I think he's the most overrated president we have.
He was president for forever.
Yeah, talk about being a dictator.
Yeah.
He got elected for a 4th term, and then he just dies immediately. It's like, whatever.
I love his wife.
Yeah, she was cool. So, Long took to the nation to broadcast on the radio and promote his Share Our Wealth program, booming in his unmistakable Southern drawl, like every man a king. You know, I'm so sorry for people who are from the South who are listening. I had to.
You had to try.
I have ancestors from the South, like hundreds of years ago. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I'm sure that's fine.
I'm sure it's fine. So
the radio, like
that's how he got.
That's their version of social media.
Exactly what I was going to say. Exactly. Mm-hmm. So, and by like 1935, Share Our Wealth clubs had sprung up in every single state, boasting over 7.5 million members. Wow. This was a very popular idea.
Yeah.
It was and this was all grassroots. It was astonishing.
Very impressive.
His Senate office was inundated with up to 60,000 letters a week from supporters. He hired dozens of secretaries to answer fan mail, essentially. Wow. Among desperate Americans, Huey Long was the folk hero. He was the Robin Hood. He was an icon, like of someone actually offering not only just hope but real solutions. One contemporary observed that from the outside of Hollywood's Charlie Chaplin and President FDR himself, Long was probably the most famous face in America.
Damn.
So
I've never even heard of him until you.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I once. To be fair, I didn't know of him until either late last year or beginning of this year.
Yeah, think about that.
I was like, oh my god, this. Of course they're not going to teach about him in school.
Yeah.
Of course they're not.
When at one point he was one of the most recognizable faces in America.
Yeah. Like,
interesting.
Guys, like, we can do this also. Like, I think
a lot of the ideas are very applicable.
It's very applicable to today. Like, oh my gosh, like Bezos can't get his 7th yacht. Okay. I'm okay with that. I think he'll live. So one of my favorite things that Huey Long said, and I think I've seen this in video, but he had this kind of like snapshot, and this is so Southern. Like he had, it's called his barbecue metaphor. He's like, if one man piles his plate with all the meat, what is everyone else supposed to eat? What's Rockefeller going to do with all that grub?
I don't know. You can't eat it all.
I just realized I did that in a Southern accent.
Your stomach's only so big.
Yeah. But basically that was his thing. And he's not wrong. I don't know. Just saying. So FDR was noticeably alarmed because FDR was power hungry as well. I think that's something that we don't talk about, but he was. He was power hungry.
Very power hungry.
I mean, literally. Anyway, I'm not going to get into it. Again, I've said that like half a dozen times in this episode. But he privately remarked that Huey was one of the 2 most dangerous men in America. The other one being General Douglas MacArthur, who helped us win World War II. But so
weird.
When he said dangerous men in America, he meant
threats
dangerous
to
men
him.
to himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. How sad when your ego takes over.
Yeah. He feared that like he was going to run against him in the primary or even run third party against him and siphon away votes. And he didn't think he was going to win in the 1936 election.
Okay.
Against Huey Long. because he would have had to fight Huey Long and whomever the Republicans. I don't even know who they ran in that election. Who cares? But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they did everything they could against him. They investigated him for corruption, digging into his finances via the IRS and the FBI. They planted Long's enemies in charge of federal relief programs in Louisiana to undermine him.
It's also very dictatorial.
Yeah. No, FDR was so much more dictatorial than Long could have ever hoped to be. I do not like FDR.
Dude,
So,
you've said that 3 times.
he's not even the best Roosevelt that was president. His cousin was so much better.
Oh my gosh.
So FDR also, and this is where FDR was really smart though, he co-opted his ideas. Remember I told you about the...
He's like, I'll make them more palatable.
Yes.
Like he gave him a PR spin.
Yeah. Social Security, that came from Huey Long, but he instituted it for pensions. He instituted heavier taxes on the wealthy, the WPA for huge public works programs, the National Youth Administration for student aid. And he noticeably did not go as far as to share our wealth because he has incredibly wealthy backers who don't actually
piss
want
off your donors.
But he had to do something. And so he's
to
like,
compete,
I'll just take this middle road. And so publicly, Roosevelt was really trying to act unruffled, even joking that Long was a demagogue. But in private,
he's terrified.
He's terrified. He's terrified of Long privately. He mentioned that multiple times. He even went to commission the first ever nationwide poll to gauge how much of a threat Huey Long was to him.
Oh, he's getting paranoid.
He's getting paranoid.
But he's handling it well.
He is handling it really well. Yeah. So even as he battled the Democratic establishment, Huey Long forged alliances with other discontented populists. He befriended an actual radical Catholic radio priest, Father Coughlin, and a doctor, Dr. Francis Townsend, who was an advocate of old age pensions. And there was talk that he was diving into these other communities, like Catholics, right, to create this coalition of different people, because this is what Huey Long was really good at, building these coalitions, the grassroots movements, to fight against Roosevelt, win the Democratic nomination, and ultimately win the presidency. It's just talk, but that is what Huey Long wanted. His charisma, he had crazy, as the youth say, riz.
Yeah, he rizzed him up.
He rizzed up everyone. From poor constituencies in northern states who loved him, even though he was a Southerner. They loved him. And minorities, specifically black folk. They saw him as the rare Southern politician who didn't spew racism in his speeches, right? We covered that a little bit earlier. He even invited, infamously to, some of his supporters, more racist ones, that he invited a black choir to sing at one of his rallies in the Deep South. Wow. It's kind of just what are you going to do about it?
Big thing that's going to piss off a lot of people.
He didn't do it in the North. He did it in the South.
Right. That's quite a statement.
So his ego, though, was, I think, going to be his downfall, and was his downfall. It made it hard for him to share any sort of limelight, and and I think he was the star of his show. So, nationwide in 1935, political commentators are literally openly comparing him to Julius Caesar. And there's a lot of parallels, to be honest. So it's not an unfair comparison. But I think he would have loved that. And I think, ironically, Pompey, because he's a populist hero who's openly defying the nation's leader, kind of like Roosevelt being like a Pompeius Magnus.
Ah, I see.
And it's completely just threatening to overturn the established order.
Yes.
Not overthrow the government, but being this order that's in control of the government, you guys suck. I'm the future. You're just a cheap imitation. You're Timu me. Is kind of what he's saying and putting in today's terms.
He's not wrong.
Yeah. He had a self-published book called, quote, My First Days in the White House, end quote.
Wow.
Yeah. Which was a future memoir. I actually really want to read this. A future memoir where he imagined himself as president meeting with a humbled FDR.
That's manifesting.
I think he was. He was trying to manifest. So this was this was all unprecedented. All of it was unprecedented. And this, I think, led to his downfall, unfortunately. So his influence just continued to grow. But along with the influence were threats against his life. And he was despised by many incredibly powerful people, not only in Louisiana, but in the entire country.
Yeah.
I mean, we actually kind of went over it very briefly in the 1954 coup d'etat episode.
Yeah.
With Samuel Zemurray.
Mm-hmm.
They hated each other.
Right.
Hated each other. So
and look at how powerful that guy was.
Yeah, that guy ended up becoming very powerful. I mean, laid the foundation to overthrowing a democratically elected government in South America.
Yeah.
Central America.
Central America, yeah.
So there were whispers of lots of plots. So in mid-1935, Long dramatically claimed to have uncovered a conspiracy of local officials, including 4 congressmen and a mayor, who allegedly schemed to assassinate him. We don't know if this is true or not, but it is a fact that he had an armed militia that was formed primarily against him, called the Square Deal Association, that talked of violent rebellion against Long's rule. So this is definitely like funded by the aristocrats.
Yeah.
Death threats and even drive-by shootings targeted Huey and his family, prompting him to travel with a squad of armed bodyguards at all times.
Wow.
So, and here we arrive to September 8th, 1935, which is interesting because we were actually recording this on September 11th, 1935. I'm sorry, 2025.
1935.
We didn't go back in time.
Yeah. So it's been...
Yeah, like 90 years.
90 years, yeah. I was like, not 100.
Yeah, it was 90 years just a couple days ago from the time of this recording. So Huey Long, he walked through the marble corridors of the Louisiana State Capitol, that building that I had mentioned earlier that was really pretty Art Deco.
The Art Deco building.
He's walking through it. Late nights, there's a special legislative session, right? He's a U.S. senator, but he's like still involved in Louisiana because he loves
the
Louisiana.
Building he built, yeah.
Building he built. He was there to ram through a last-minute bill to basically gerrymander a district of a longtime opponent, which was Judge Benjamin Pavey, effectively like ousting the judge during the next time he would be up for a re-election.
Okay.
So around 9:20 p.m., as Long exited the House chamber, he passed by Dr. Carl Austin Weiss. He was a young Baton Rouge eye doctor who also happened to be Judge Pavey's son-in-law.
Oh, okay.
So in a split second, Weiss confronted Long at close range and fired a single shot into his abdomen from a pistol.
Wow.
So Huey's bodyguards reacted instantly, drawing their guns and just like opened fire on this guy, just riddling him with bullets.
Wow.
So that guy died instantly.
Mm-hmm.
There was dozens of shots fired at him, which is interesting. Weiss was dead instantly, cut down by Long's guards. And Huey Long astonishingly ran down a flight of steps crying for help.
Oh.
So it's really interesting because hours before the shooting, hotelier Seymour Weiss, I don't think there's any relation, reportedly asked about the campaign deduct box. So it's basically just like money, the money box.
Oh, okay.
He replied, "I'll tell you later, Seymour," and the box was never found.
That's suspicious.
So it's a very suspicious little like tidbit there.
Mm-hmm.
So Huey Long was rushed to the hospital, and at first it seemed he might actually survive. Yay! But the abdominal wound was too serious. Surgeons operated through the night, but the internal bleeding and organ damage was too severe. He lingered for around 30 hours, which is terrible. Terrible way to die. And in his final moments, the 42-year-old Kingfish reportedly grasped a friend's hand and uttered, "God, don't let me die. I have so much to do."
Oh, that's sad.
And then on September 10th, 1935, it's 90 years ago yesterday, Huey P. Long succumbed to his injuries.
Wow.
An enormous crowd attended his funeral at the Capitol.
I bet.
Tens of thousands of people, sobbing and distraught, filing past the cabinet of the man who they had felt had been their champion, their savior even in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
He was buried on the Capitol grounds, and a statue of him now stands at the spot. So the immediate motive for Dr. Weiss's action was presumably personal, given his relationship to Judge Pavey. And notably, Long had insulted Weiss's wife, Pavey's daughter, with a vicious rumor about her ancestry. I don't know what that was. I didn't want to get into it.
Chismoso.
Yeah. So those close to Weiss believe he acted alone out of revenge. However, to this day, obviously controversy swirls around Long's assassination, given his litany of very powerful enemies.
So many people could have paid that guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Some alternate theory suggests perhaps Long's own guards even accidentally shot him in the chaos, or that Weiss might not have intended to kill him at all.
But it was like an accident?
Yeah. No
like he
solid...
wanted to threaten him or something?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the thing is, to this day, no solid evidence has ever emerged of any sort of wider conspiracy.
And they can't ask the guy.
Yeah, you can't ask him. A federal probe in the 1930s, late 1930s, found found that no plot was behind the deed. But again, like, who's running that probe? It's going to be FDR.
Right. He's going to be like, yeah, no, it's fine.
Just like how...
He hates the guy.
Yeah, it was like even just a couple...
Because he can't, even if it wasn't related to FDR, he can't admit if someone had him assassinated because it makes him a martyr.
Exactly, and he can't have this guy be a martyr,
No.
especially to, like, his powerful backers, right? So, you know, like, to this day, we still don't know who killed Huey Long. Or we do know who killed Huey Long, but, like, we don't know...
The motive
necessarily. Wow. It's still a little bit of mystery. So, I mean, and again, like... I kind of alluded to this earlier. There was a really interesting parallel between the Populares and Huey Long. Yeah, it
was a Caesar's death right there.
He literally died like a Caesar's death, right? A populist like leader, seemingly invincible, cut down, at the height of his power, like amidst a swirl of political intrigue, right?
Wow.
And Long's death, did bring massive relief to the Roosevelt administration.
Of course.
So they had a lot to benefit from his death, which I find very suspect. It was an unimaginable tragedy to millions of his followers around the country.
Yeah.
And in the weeks after his death, he kind of had there was a slogan that was like, "Carry on for Huey." It was seen at signs. It was like yelled at rallies of people, especially that vowed to continue his work. Louisiana plunged into turmoil because he really had a grasp of everything. There was that kind of political vacuum that happened, and it split into pro and anti-Long faction that would persist for like the next 30 years.
That's incredible, actually.
Yeah.
What an impact.
So his mark on Louisiana politics was massive. To this day, he enjoys like a near mythic status amongst many in the state. So for the next 25 years, at least, Louisiana politics was essentially a civil war between Long's heirs and his foes. He created a political dynasty where his wife and son each actually served in the U.S. Senate, and his brother Earl became governor.
Good for them.
Yeah, ensuring that the Long name but more importantly, his agenda continued on.
Good for them. That's beautiful.
So, and even Long's staunchest critics fully admit that no one before or since did as much for Louisiana's poor as Huey did. He dragged an impoverished, feudal state, which was Louisiana, and into the 20th century, from the 19th century, paved roads, modern infrastructure, public education, healthcare for poor, and genuinely just improved the lives of everyone.
Wow. Thank you so much. Like I said, I didn't know anything about him. So this is really powerful. Given me a lot to digest.
I know, right? It's a lot. He definitely kind of inspires me a little bit, but then also kind of terrifies me in other parts.
I could see that.
He's just from a political, historical perspective, he is utterly fascinating to me.
I really want to hear from any weirdos in Louisiana if you grew up hearing about him.
Definitely.
Let us know in the comments.
Let us know in the comments of this episode on Instagram or email us. Let us know because I'm very interested.
Did you hear about him and what did you hear? We want to know.
Yeah, we want to know.
Thank you, Andrew. That was incredible. And thank you so much, weirdos, for joining us for another episode.
Thank you, weirdos. Until next time.
Adios.